Myth of Empires. We got ourselves a multiplayer PvP sandbox that recently popped up on the scene. Being developed by Angela Game and being published by Imperium Interactive, this is what appears to be the next iteration in directional combat multiplayer online games. Seeing a lot of attention for it from people that played games like Blood of Steel, Conqueror's Blade, Tiger Knight, that kind of crowd, and even some communities from games like Last Oasis. Plus, most importantly, this game would probably be best described as a sandbox version of Mountain Blade, and surprisingly it's got similarities to it besides just the gameplay. From what I've seen and heard, at multiple points during its announcement trailer you can hear what clearly sounds like the grunt noises and other sound effects from Mountain Blade. Now from what I was able to find, Angela Game was founded in 2019 and has headquarters in Hong Kong. Also the developers behind the game currently on Steam known as Iron Conflict. My assumption based on this and the fact that they're an indie developer is that they might have purchased a sound pack with assets from one of the Mountain Blade games. Ever since the original and Warband, there's been countless mods and reiterations of the game itself, even some that have actually been released on Steam, like Freeman Guerrilla Warfare, Veil of Crows, and Blood and Gold Caribbean. So them having the sound effects doesn't really surprise me. But what does matter is the gameplay and the features, which is what we're going to dive into right after I tell you that before you even consider going to war in this upcoming sandbox, you might want to get yourself one of the coldest water bottles. Fully insulated 2.0 lid technology that keeps your drink cold up to 36 hours, which is absolutely perfect for making sure you stay hydrated during a siege. Link in the description or code medieval10 to get 10% off this or any of their other products. Now, I know we throw around the idea of getting an online version of Mountain Blade when it comes to some of these games, but this one seems to be capturing a lot of what you would actually expect an online version of that to look like. I've been keeping tabs on it for a little while now, and it really does remind me of Gloria Victis or the Persistent World mod from Mountain Blade Warband. And that's not something that would make me pass on this game, that's an even bigger selling point. To start with, you'll notice that the game does feature directional combat. It already seems to provide a decent variety of weapons from what we've seen so far. Seen a few like the glaives, the halberds, crossbows, regular bows of course, giant clubs, one-handed sword and shield, giant poleaxes, two-handed swords, and I'm sure there's even more. On the feature side, it's described as an immersive and expansive world, taking place in the 3rd century of the Eastern continent. We'll be collecting resources and utilizing our creativity and imagination to build our very own empires. We can recruit NPCs through peaceful or violent means, which I have actually seen a little bit through their Discord showcases. We can have them collect resources or craft materials with them, or even use them as our own personal army, which I can say does seem to be accurate because as opposed to other games, this one has a full-on formation and troop command system, which is certainly something that could end up setting this game apart. For the professions, it'll have planting, foraging, cooking, livestock, farming, and hunting. And of course, this being a multiplayer sandbox, we will be able to band together and do this, although through a previous Q&A they did, we learned that each individual server in the early access will support up to 100 players, but they're planning to upgrade server technology after that. And apparently, even in the current state, they say that each server is connected. So basically this is the grid system from Atlas or Last Oasis, though I'm crossing my fingers that it works better here in this game, at least compared to Atlas specifically. So they call the grids counties, and for the guilds, you're able to form alliances or conquer other counties to become a governor, and possibly later on something more. The game does feature a siege and building system, although they did reveal that there will be limitations on when you can attack or declare a raid, so more than likely, offline raiding will not be a thing. Game also does have a mount system as you've seen, so for those of you that prefer horseback riding, that'll be possible. Graphics and animation wise, it does seem serviceable enough, though hopefully both aspects will keep improving as time goes on. This game currently has no release date, only says coming soon when it comes to the Steam page. However, there is a sign up option for beta on their website. So this video is a quick introduction for Myth of Empires and also a notification that you should probably sign up if you're interested. I'll leave a link to their website in the description below. But with that though, let me know what you think about it. There's some more detail we can cover in the future, so I'll jump on that later. But you folks have a wonderful night or day as always. Thanks so much for watching, and to our sponsor The Coldest, and farewell.